Okay, as you can see, I've got my budget all filled in. And now what I want to do is to create a simple to see graph that I can share in my presentation. So I'm going to take this graph and I'm going to put it into my Google slide afterwards, okay? So what I want to do is to get all my titles. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a summary chart here. So I'm going to call this category. And this is going to be called amount, okay? And then my categories, it's simple. I'm just going to copy and paste them. So Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, and continuing to copy and paste using my keyboard. And the last thing I want to make sure I have is my remaining amount. So that's going to be part of my, I'm going to create a circle graph that's going to show the sort of visual representation of how much of my budget was spent on each thing. Now I can't simply copy and paste these ones because these are made with formulas, as you can see. So the formula is going to refer to the wrong cells if I try and copy and paste it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a formula. So I'm going to say this amount is equal to the exact cell. And it'll give me, and I'm not going to follow the suggestion at this point because it's not giving me, I don't think, oh, it is giving me the right one. So let's go ahead and use that. Okay, and then I want to make sure that I'm going to, oh, it's not doing it all the time. So again, clicking on the cell that I want to be working on here, and I'm going to hit equals, and that's my food total. That's this cell, enter. This one is going to be equal to my entertainment value, which is this one. This one wasn't done properly either, so I'm going to double check and I'm going to put equals, and that's that amount here. Okay, there's a couple ways I can double check. I can go visually make sure that my numbers match up, or I can simply put a sum, and if I did this properly, everything along the way, these cells should all add up to my $10,000 budget, and they do. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm ready to create a chart. So this is the easiest way to do it. You're going to highlight the whole chart, including the titles, up to the remaining amount. So making sure that you have that much highlighted. And now I can insert a chart by going up to the top, or I can click the chart button over here, which looks like a little bar graph. So I'm going to click that now. And as you can see, it's giving me a graph that looks not bad so far. Okay, so it's got some nice stuff on it. It's got all of the titles that I asked for, and including my remaining amount. Now, the title of the graph I'm not too happy with. Okay, so there's a few things you can do. You can actually just double click on the graph and you can start editing right away. So this amount is not a good title. A good title for this is spending by category super spring break. Oops, break. Oh boy, there we go. Okay, so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, geez, like it's not bad. It looks pretty plain. So there's a few things you can do. You can go into here. You see when you start clicking on these items, it actually brings up this chart editor. And so what I'm doing is I'm customizing right now. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. So if I click on this, I can actually choose to have it centered. To me, that looks a lot better. Maybe I want to have it bold, so it's a little bit thicker. Okay, I can choose my title text color. Maybe I don't want it just being like that gray color. Maybe I've got a theme in my presentation I want it to match. So I don't know, maybe I want it to be nice and bold and blue. So that stands out nicely. Okay, so same idea here. If I double click on this one, I can change all sorts of stuff. I can change the fonts. I can change the font size. I can make it bold. I can make it a different color as well. I'm not going to go through into that because what I really want to get to is how do you paste or get your chart into your graph, into your presentation now. Okay, so you can see when I have my graph selected, it's got these three little buttons here. And I can just click this and I can choose copy chart. If I go to copy chart, I should be able to now just paste it into my slideshow and I can actually paste it linked. Okay, so once I'm happy with all of the customizations that I've done, and I've just shown you the beginning, I encourage you to go and play around with things and make sure it looks good and you're happy with it, okay? So that's it for creating a graph and what kind of graph you should make.